Hey, it's me, Corey, and welcome back to my channel. I do predominantly plant-based meal preps, although this week is pretty not plant-based. It's pretty hardcore vegetarian. I don't eat meat, but I do eat cheese and eggs, and this is a very cheesy, eggy week. But for the most part, if you check out some of my other what I eat in a week, it is predominantly plant-based. So every week I do 2 meals and a snack, and this week I have an egg, it's a frittata. So I have cherry tomato and spinach frittata. I have pita pizzas, and I have black bean taquitos over like Mexican salad is what I'm calling it. So let's jump right in. So first I just chopped up a bag of spinach and added some of my mom's cherry tomatoes. This is what actually inspired the dish. She has a gorgeous garden in the backyard, and she has so many tomatoes. So I decided I could throw them in a frittata, and that would be really good. But yeah, so it's just some chopped spinach, some cherry tomatoes, and then that is 1 garlic clove that I just kind of wiggled around in there to get the flavor in, with some olive oil and salt and pepper. Once it was wilted, I made sure to pull that garlic clove to the side because I didn't want to put it in the egg mixture, and just let the greens and the tomatoes cool down. But look how vibrant and pretty that color is. I love it. I whisked 10 eggs with salt and pepper until they were nice and creamy. I added my veggies back in and made sure to like push the vegetables down so they weren't just like floating on the top. I also added in a handful of Parm cheese on the top and popped it in the oven covered for 45 minutes, and then for the last like 10 to 15 minutes I took the foil off. And this is the gorgeous frittata that I ended up with. This was real good, y'all, and super basic and simple. Very easy snack, very easy brunch dish. Great potluck dish, I think, as well. But yeah, so I just served it like this. Some days I did have some roasted veggies, on the side. But yeah, that was it. Next up, I'm going to show you how I made my black bean taquitos. So these were dried black beans that I had soaked overnight before I added them into a pot of water about 1 inch high. I let it get to a boil and boiled them for 10 minutes before I put the lid back on and just let it sit for 2 hours. I sauteed some onion and some garlic, and then I added my beans and my onions and garlic into a food processor and pulsed it until they were smooth. I also made my own pico. So this is some diced mini sweet peppers, a de-seeded jalapeno, a handful of cilantro, and then some green and white onion because I couldn't decide between the two. I just wanted to show you how I pull the seeds out of my tomatoes so my pico doesn't get super watery. And really, if you just cut along the side of the seed pocket, it should really just fall out. So that's what I'm doing, just kind of following the curve and then slicing up the other side. And yeah, no more watery salsa or pico. That's simple. I diced those tomatoes up and threw it on top. Very pretty. Look how vibrant. I love big, vibrant, fresh colors like that. And then I added the juice of a whole lime on top, and that was it. I just gave it a mix, and this is how I served it. So vibrant. It was so good. Back to the taquitos. So this is the tortillas and cheese that I used to fill them with. I oiled my tray before I put my corn tortillas down, and 1/3 of a slice of cheese. I think you could do a half a slice or even a full slice. These did not turn out to be very cheesy. They were good, but just, yeah. These did not turn out to be very cheesy. But I just put some black beans down the middle, and then I needed a little bit to like glue the tortillas together. You could also use a toothpick for this instead of the beans. Some of these did get real crumbly. I really don't know how to avoid that, but I don't know. You just make it work. I brushed more olive oil on top of the shells. But yeah, you see that one like split open all the way. But then I just popped these in the oven on 400 for about 20 minutes, and I flipped them halfway through. The last component of this salad was my tofu. So this was just tofu that I had marinated in cumin, chili powder, garlic powder, salt, pepper, and hot sauce for a couple of hours until it was time to eat dinner. But you could probably get away with 30 minutes, or even if you didn't want to marinate it, you could just throw it in a pot with or in your pan with those seasonings, and it would be all right. But yeah, I just let this sizzle. I wanted this to be a very like protein packed and hearty dish because, okay, I'm gonna come back on camera for this. So what influenced this meal was the taquitos. I thought the taquitos would be really great this week, but I was like, what am I gonna eat my taquitos with? Either a soup or a salad. I want you, if you enjoy and crave salads or soups, I need you to leave a comment down below. Just because I'm curious. I just want to know, like, I just want to know why you don't want more for yourself, I guess. Like, I don't know. This is just salads and soups are like appetizers and side dishes, but I was trying to be a little healthy brie here and make a salad this week, so I wanted to add a bunch of stuff, which is why I did the tofu and the taquitos and the pico, and just this ended up being a massive salad because I have never in my life craved a salad. If I'm gonna eat corn tortillas, I'll throw a salad in it. I will say this was the last week that I was in this mindset. If you're interested in my health and fitness journey, I'll link it above and in the description box. But I'm moving past this calorie deficit mindset, and you have to eat less and work out more, or what is it, calories in versus calories out, is that what they say? And I was talking to him because he's into fitness and stuff like that. I was talking to him about what do I have to do to get past this plateau I'm in, and he was like, cut your calories. And I was like, I literally can't cut them anymore. And he's the one that encouraged me to my brother is the one that encouraged me to track my calories for a week, and I was eating 1,100 calories, and he was like, oh yeah, no, you need to increase that. That's why you're at a plateau, because your body's in freaking starvation mode, basically, because I'm working out a ton. If I wasn't working out at all, maybe 1,100 calories would be okay, but I'm working out for at least an hour a day, so it's just, my body's like, yes, this ain't enough for me. So this was the last week that I'm eating salads for fun. It's not, I can't do that anymore, but let's get back into it. Alright, so for my tofu, I just let it saute a little bit before I added in half a bag of frozen corn and let that get a little charred. And that was the last component of my salad. These were my taquitos out of the oven. Like I said, add more cheese because these really weren't that cheesy at all. They were good, just not cheesy. But I used Swiss chard, spinach, and kale because those were the greens that I had in my fridge, but use whichever ones you like. And then I also threw in some carrots and some cucumbers and some avocado, as well as the pico and the tofu and corn mixture as well. This did end up being a pretty tasty salad. It was just, at the end of the day, it was a salad. So yeah, it wasn't the most exciting thing I've ever eaten in my life, but this was probably one of the best salads I've ever made in my life. So I will give myself that. But yeah. And next up, we have a pretty much no prep meal. This was super easy. I just took a pita bread from the store, and I put some olive oil and some Italian seasoning on it before I toasted in the oven for just a few minutes to get it a little crispy. I then added on my favorite tomato sauce. Then this was just the same cheese that I had in my taquitos, so I just used it for this too. But you can use whatever cheese you want. This was just some Colby slices. And I also added half of a veggie burger on top for some extra protein and some extra flavor. And like I said, real simple but real tasty, y'all. This was good. This is a great, I think, snack. Like I said, I'm increasing my calories. So in the future, this will probably be a snack for me instead of a meal. But this was really fire, and I do recommend it. But that's all I have for you guys this week. 2 meals and a snack. I hope you all enjoyed these recipes. Please leave comments down below on if you've tried any of these recipes before, or what suggestions you have for me to increase my calories during my fitness journey. Thank you for watching, as always. Please be sure to give this a big thumbs up and subscribe for me. It does a ton, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.